Welcome into One-on-One on Suddenly Channel 112, live in Studio 318, joined by my co-host Logan Mosier. I'm Reed Spencer. It is a Monday. It's a happy Monday for Cowboy basketball and Cowboy football, we think. We will get into that. They hired their new offensive coordinator. But Oklahoma State had a weekend of remembrance and victory, 74-70 win over South Carolina, and obviously the Oklahoma State family remembered the 10 this weekend. But a big win for the Cowboys.
Yeah, for sure. Not what I was expecting at all. I think you and I both kind of thought this was going to go the other way, but they played a great, complete game of basketball. They didn't seem to be too tired at the end of the game like they were against Oklahoma the other week. So I was very impressed with the win and I think you can kind of have a brighter attitude going forward with the rest of the season.
I mean, I'm just going to go down this minutes list for you. They
Yeah.
played 8 players. Luke Major played 2, so we're going to say 7, basically. Cameron Griff played 30. Uriani, after playing 40 at Bedlam Wednesday. Uriani, 35. Isaac Likely, 34. Lindy Waters, 35. And Thomas Dzongwa, 37. Duncan Demuth came in for 8 minutes, got a couple points. And Curtis Jones had 19 minutes, and he dropped 7 points. So they spread it out a little bit. I remember, they were talking on the broadcast that Boynton had kind of figured spread out the timeouts.
Yeah.
Let's ration the timeouts, and then a minute into the second half, he called timeout, and I'm thinking, no, this is bad. But, I mean, they got a couple leads, and it almost was going to be reminiscent of that Bedlam game. They didn't get it out to, obviously, a 28-9 lead, but they had a big lead for portions of the game, and then they fell back, and they lost the lead with 4 or 5 minutes left, but they battled it out. So it's something to be proud of if you're Mike Boynton and the Cowboys.
Yeah, for sure. And what I was most impressed with was their ability to get to the free throw line, because that slows the game down a lot. That makes those 30, 35, 37 minutes, it's not as taxing when you get a little break for guys to go shoot a couple free throws. 23 for 29 from the line as a team, that's really good. You're not going to get that every game, I'm going to assume. I don't think there's a lot of teams in college basketball that shoot around 30 free throws. But if you can get to the line, I think you can play these guys these kind of minutes. Because in the Bedlam game, that was not the case, and you saw them get tired out. But I was very impressed with the way, especially Cameron Griff. He had a couple of great plays. He had that alley-oop.
Yeah, he went flying.
Yeah, he had that alley-oop. He just had some highlight plays that I felt energized the rest of the guys. And I feel like Uriani, he has turned a new leaf, kind of, for me. He had, again, not in foul trouble like we're used to all year. He had 3 blocks, 11 rebounds, 8 points. That's awesome for a freshman. I mean, he's only going to get better. So, like I said earlier, it's promising. There's a little bit of hope. Everything was doom and gloom, I think. I think we kind of all overreacted a little bit to how bad this season was going to be for the Cowboys. But looking forward, it's not great, obviously, but it's not the end of the world.
No, I mean, Uriani is now 8th among freshmen in blocks, which is incredible because he really didn't play a lot of minutes early on. I mean, and he's racked up those blocks pretty soon. You mentioned how much the Cowboys were able to get to the free throw line. I think what's almost equally impressive is how little South Carolina got to the free throw line. Only 9 free throws. They did hit 100%. But, I mean, those 23 points from the free throw line got the Cowboys that win.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing I thought the Cowboys did really well was defend the three-point line. I felt like South Carolina, every time South Carolina took a three, for the most part, I thought it was a bad look. I thought the Cowboys did a great job of getting out there and contesting and guarding the three-point line, which we talked about last week. They're the best in the Big 12 at that, and it looks like that's going to continue going forward. And they shot the three relatively well, especially Dzongwa. 5 for 9. That was he had a great game.
Why do you let Thomas Dzongwa take 9 3-point shots? I mean, honestly, what was South Carolina doing?
Well, did you hear after the game they were playing the wish defense? That's what their coach said. He wishes he would miss. It's not a great game plan going forward. You would think you would try to guard him a little bit, but some of those he was taking were pretty deep threes, and he did a good job of making those. So you got to give him credit for. They talked about it on the broadcast. I don't know how many times. I liked it as an Oklahoma State fan, but I feel like if you were a South Carolina fan watching, you were kind of annoyed at how many times they mentioned how much he shot over the summer.
Yeah, 25,000 shots.
Yeah, and I mean everyone that from South Carolina knows that by now probably, but the work he put in definitely showed last night. So you would think they would have a different game plan guarding him on the three-point line, though.
Well, I mean, I understand. Well, I don't understand it, but if you go in the first half and that's what your game plan was, then okay. It's obviously not going to work. You need to make some halftime adjustments.
And that didn't happen.
They didn't make halftime adjustments.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it at all. At all.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like they didn't come in with a great game plan either. Like you said, no halftime adjustments. I mean, whatever the Cowboys did in the first half, they did it again in the second half and found just as much success with it. Obviously, South Carolina made adjustments on the offensive end because they got more into the game and even took a lead, like you said, until those last couple of minutes. But yeah, I'm so impressed with Mike Boynton. I feel like every time we talk about Cowboy basketball, we talk about how much we love Mike Boynton as the coach. He's just the kind of guy. I feel like he's energized these guys in a way no one else could. No one else that has been a coach here could have.
No, and I mean,
because I would run through a wall for Mike Boynton.
And you hear that a lot.
Yeah.
That's not just something that you hear from, guys like us. You hear that across campus.
Right.
And it's because, I mean, you look, and I don't think you can talk about it enough. We talk about it every week, but from the job he took over, the third coach in 3 years, and then the guy who almost got the job, the guy that he says is his right-hand man, Lamont Evans, gets arrested by the FBI in the biggest, basically, sting operation on college basketball. I mean, this was an indictment on college basketball, and Oklahoma State was at the forefront of those allegations.
Mm-hmm.
He loses that guy. Then he has to suspend players last year, and then he has to suspend players this year. And he's down to 8 guys.
Yeah.
Trey Reeves, the guy he put on scholarship, broke his foot. And throughout all of this, you have never seen Oklahoma State quit on Mike Boynton.
No.
And I don't think you will. And you have never, ever seen him have a bad attitude. Now, he's been ticked at times. You've seen him frustrated, and he's not been happy with wins. But that's every coach. But even when times are good, when things, they've dealt with the situations that they have, it's easy to get down. And Mike Boynton never gets down.
Yeah, no. He's always seemed to be under control. He may not know what he's going to do at that moment, but he always finds a way. He adjusts his plan for whatever he thinks the future is. And these guys follow him. You can tell. Like you said, that he has not lost this locker room. If anything, he has just
strengthened it.
Yeah, he has just built up such like a rapport with these guys throughout their time together because they've all been through kind of this kind of thing. Minus when Travis Ford was here and then he left. But ever since Brad Underwood got here, Mike Boynton's been here and he's been through all of that with these guys. So I feel like they really rally behind him. And like you said, it spreads to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just people in this building. It's not people in Gallagher-Iba that are there for the practices. It's
everyone.
It's in the engineering building. It's in the business building. It's wherever fans of Oklahoma State basketball are. Like everyone just loves this guy, and it's easy to see why.
Well, everything he's done is impressive, and I think obviously once they get the players and get things kind of under normal circumstances, Mike Boynton's going to be really good.
Yes.
What's he going to do? I mean, this is an excellent opportunity for them to catch their breath because they don't play until Saturday against Kansas State. So how does Mike Boynton and the Cowboys manage it? You still got to practice, but you would think that they would be taking it relatively easy and catching their breath this week.
Yeah, I think they're going to take it easy in practice. They're going up against a great defense on Saturday in Kansas State. They just lost I think they lost this weekend, right? They lost.
Yeah, they were one of the Big 12 teams that lost
which
to
was
a bad Texas A&M team.
Yeah.
An 8-10 Texas A&M team.
Yeah, but they are still a great defensive team. So I think you just kind of take it easy. You watch a lot of film. I think you got to watch what they do on defense, and I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to watch a lot of film, run a couple of different things to see if they can find something they like that might work against that defense. But I don't think he's going to be making them run suicides or anything like that.
Well, we talked about that Big 12 matchup Kansas State did. The Big 12 got, the trophy back, I guess.
Yes.
They lost to the SEC last year. They tied 1 year, and the Big 12 had won 3 years prior to that. So, obviously, we know this isn't football. This is basketball. Big 12 is the better conference. But the best team in the Big 12, we sent to the SEC at number 8 Kentucky. And Kansas, who I said would win by 15 points on Friday, which obviously did not happen. They lost by 8, 71-63 at Kentucky.
Yeah.
They fall to 16-4. Tennessee, number 1, obviously the worst team in the Big 12, West Virginia. An easy win for the Volunteers.
Yeah.
Texas Tech got squeaked by Arkansas 67-63. 64. Iowa State got a big win over number 20 Ole Miss, and number 24 Iowa State, might I mention. They are on their way up.
They are.
A big win down in Oxford, 87-73. Baylor picked up a win over Alabama, 73-68. TCU got a 55-50 win over a struggling Florida team. As we know, the Pokes won 74-70 over South Carolina. Georgia gets a 98-88 win over Texas. And as you just mentioned, Texas A&M beat K-State 65-53 down in College Station. And the Sooners got an 86-55 win over Vanderbilt, really dominated Vanderbilt. Texas is an interesting one because everyone thought Shaka Smart was going to make that big leap with the Longhorns, and it just hasn't happened. They fall to 11-9. But this Kansas-Kentucky game, did you watch that game?
I did. I got to watch most of it. I didn't get to see part of the first half.
Well, Bill Self took a little bit of a shot at Kentucky after the game. He said it, obviously, when referred to the Rupp Arena, he said it was a good environment, but it's no Allen Fieldhouse. I don't have a problem with that.
I don't either. I mean, you're always going to favor your home arena, and I mean, they're both historic arenas. They're both two historic blue blood programs. But Kansas is not good this year. I mean, can we agree that this is probably the best year?
By Kansas standards, yes.
Yeah. I think if Texas Tech gets their act together, they could win the Big 12. I thought that since like 2 or 3 weeks into the season. I don't know why. I'm just not in on the Kansas team. It's probably the injuries. You know, they lost Azubuike. I think he just takes them to another level, and he's out right now. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Kansas. I think I'm more okay with where they are now in the poll. I was not okay with them being number one for however long that was. But I thought Kentucky was the better basketball team. I predicted them to win last Friday, right?
Yes, you did. And I so intuitively said that Kansas would win by 15. Yikes.
It's okay. You're the football guy, Reed.
That is what I will cling on to.
You would have gotten
the football guy.
Let's watch this football game. That would be a terrible football game. But
yes, that would be a terrible. Maybe not. Kentucky's on their way up, and Kansas. They think they got it right. I don't think that they did, but an interesting one. I think you're right. Kansas might be in real trouble here in the Big 12.
An interesting stat for this Kansas team: 1-4 on the road. They have 4 losses, Reed. They're a terrible road team.
In the Big 12, that's
not good.
At rough environments. Yeah, it's not good.
I want to know. I'm going to find their one win. Their one road win was at Baylor by 5,
which is a bottom tier Big 12
They beat
team.
Baylor by 5 in Waco. That's their road win.
Well, if you're Oklahoma State, you're looking at that. I mean, you don't have a lot of players, a lot of horses to run with them, but Galgaraiba has been a tough place for even good Kansas teams. So we'll continue to keep our eye on where the Big 12 is. But some news for Cowboy football is they have hired their new offensive coordinator after Mike Yurcich left for Ohio State. Sean Gleason, the offensive coordinator for Princeton. I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
Because I think Mike Gundy didn't take as much time as people thought he would, but he goes and gets a guy who had the highest scoring offense in the FCS. They were undefeated last year. I get it's the Ivy League. They scored 470 points. I get it's not the same.
Right.
But look what Mike Yurcich was able to accomplish. He found him from Shippensburg State.
Right.
So while it's not the sexy, glamorous pick that people wanted Graham Harrell from North Texas, it looks like he might go to USC after Cliff Kingsbury now has the Cardinals job. But I'm okay with it. Obviously, only time will tell. Only games will tell, but I'm okay with it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I am too. I don't really. Like you said, he's good at finding these diamonds in the rough. We'll have to see. He had a great offense at Princeton, but it was Princeton. But I'm sure that's what people were saying about Mike Yurcich. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how the players respond too. Because I mean, you got to look at guys like Spencer Sanders that Mike Yurcich recruited and got here, and now he's gone. So I think the more important fit isn't necessarily the X's and O's, but how he meshes with the players.
Yeah. Whether or not he can recruit or not.
Yeah, that's also true.
Well, we'll get into more on Sean Gleason on Wednesday's show, but we're going to take a quick break, come back, and talk about everything going on in the NBA. You're watching One-on-One on Sunlink Channel 112.
One-on-One is brought to you by Tinker Federal Credit Union. Visit Facebook.com/TinkerFCU. While you're there for your family, we're there for you. Tinker Federal Credit Union. And OSU Communications. Not sure where to park? OSU Communications has got you covered with parking tips and bus schedule information. We'll be right back.
Determining your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
CAS prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of Downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.
Welcome into One-on-One on Suddenlink Channel 112, live from Studio 318. Uh-oh. New Orleans, first of all, gets screwed in the NFC Championship game. They're suing everyone.
Yep.
Now, Logan, their only thing they have left is Anthony Davis, and he wants out.
I mean, it's not good. It's not a good time to be from New Orleans or enjoy New Orleans sports. But you had to know this was coming with Anthony Davis.
I mean, you were hoping. I wasn't hoping because I honestly, listen, I'm not a huge, as you know, NFL is my sport. I love college football and the NFL, but I'm a sports fan. I pay attention to the NBA. Yeah. If you're looking at it from this perspective of the NBA, why would you want Anthony Davis in New Orleans? It's a small market, unsuccessful team. Yeah. You want him in a Boston or LA.
Yeah. You want him on a premier team that's competing for a championship. Because he could, after LeBron and all those guys are gone, he could be the best player in the league. He could be the face of the NBA. You don't want him on New Orleans winning 30 games a year. And that's what they have 28. They're 22 and 28 right now. They're, I believe, 5 games out of a playoff spot. They're not going to make the playoffs. So Anthony Davis comes out and says, I would like to be on a championship team. And you can't blame him for wanting out of here. They have done nothing. Well, they've tried. The DeMarcus Cousins experiment worked, and then obviously the injury kept him out of it. And then they won a playoff series last year, but they just didn't have enough firepower to go to the next round. DeMarcus Cousins leaves. Outside of that, though, there's nothing. Like, they've done nothing to build around Anthony Davis. And it's exactly what they did when Chris Paul was there. They were largely an unsuccessful basketball team, and he ended up leaving. He ended up being traded. Not to the team he originally wanted to be traded to, but that's a totally different topic. I don't have any problem with Anthony Davis asking for a trade, but I also don't think he's going to be on a new team. The trade deadline's in 2 weeks. It's February 7th. Boston can't trade for him yet. The only other real buyers would be L.A., I read something about the Knicks, maybe, but I don't know what the Knicks have to give up.
Well, if they trade him to the Knicks, he's not going to want to stay there. I mean,
right. There's no guarantee he would sign an extension there.
Because in this quote, allows him a chance to win consistently and compete for a championship.
The Knicks don't do that a lot.
Are nowhere close to winning a championship. So to think that he wants to, obviously he doesn't want to go to New York, but you mentioned the Boston thing. He can't go to Boston because they can't have Kyrie's contract and his contract on there until July 1st. Their hands are tied. And you mentioned to me over the break what the Pelicans are asking from the Lakers.
Yeah, it was something along the lines of Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, the #1 overall pick, and I think maybe Brandon Ingram. It was way too much. Like, it's just what the Lakers don't have. And that's a good move by New Orleans. There's no reason to trade him until Boston can, because there's no one else that can offer anything. It's a bidding war with one team. So,
well, Boston has more pieces, I think, that
they
I would
do.
want. But never get on the phone with Danny Ainge.
That's right.
Ever.
Somehow the Celtics will end up winning. They'll somehow get New Orleans pick or something like that.
He will scam the Pelicans right out of everything that they need.
He will.
But let's do a little bit of our own one-on-one trade machine.
Okay.
You're the Pelicans. I'm the Lakers.
Okay.
What do you want?
I want Kyle Kuzma. I want Brandon Ingram. I want Zubac. And I want 2 first-round picks.
Have fun getting fleeced by Danny Ainge. Because there's no way.
Yeah.
I would give up 2 of those players and a pick. I would not go 3.
Yeah.
I would give up 2. Because their window, listen, we've seen it with LeBron before. You don't need a great team around LeBron.
Yeah.
You need an average team with LeBron and Anthony Davis and one shooter. They'll be just fine. But their window, LeBron, and I'm not saying he's declining, but LeBron's getting older.
Yeah.
He's not going to play forever. So the Lakers have an narrow window, and obviously LeBron knows it wasn't this year. They were working towards a championship.
Right.
Golden State's going to fade away at some point. I don't know if that's in LeBron's window. But if you add a shooter and Anthony Davis, the Lakers are going to be something special.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they can get him.
They definitely can't get him this year. I think Anthony Davis is in New Orleans until next season. Just because of the fact that Boston can't offer anything unless they offer Kyrie. But I mean, maybe that would work. I don't know. I wouldn't offer Kyrie in that trade, but I don't think the Pelicans would want him either.
Not with the assets that the Celtics have, and we've talked about that being a problem. Anyways, they almost have too many pieces, so they're at a luxury to make those moves. But like I said, picking up the phone and even, I mean, you've heard executives say, Danny Ainge will ask about the kids, and next thing you're trading him 2 first-round picks.
I mean, do you think, the Rockets, they were in the market for Jimmy Butler earlier this year. They offered 4 first-round picks, I think, in that trade, that rumored trade. Do they do something like that? Do they just swing for the fences and try to get Anthony Davis?
I don't know if Daryl Morey is. I think that he kind of learned his lesson. I don't know if he was embarrassed by that coming to light, but there was not a lot of positive feedback. And don't get me wrong, Anthony Davis, I would probably give 4 ones for.
Oh, I would.
Jimmy Butler, not so much, because Anthony Davis, and neither one of us are going to sit here and say that this is ridiculous that he's demanding a trade. He should be loyal. I'm not going to go that far. Get what you want. You deserve to be happy and play where you want to win championships. But at the same time, this is the first time we've heard anything bad about Anthony Davis. He's been nothing but a good teammate. There's never been any locker room disputes. And then no off-the-court issues.
Right.
So give him what he wants. Jimmy Butler, on the other hand, has fought with everyone from high school to Marquette to Chicago to Minnesota, and now he's fighting with the 76ers. So why would anyone want that in their locker room? I would want Anthony Davis in my locker room, and he's a more impressive player than Jimmy Butler.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's a more complete player than Jimmy Butler. He's worth 4 ones if you can get him to re-sign.
Yes, I mean, LA.
And I think Houston could do that. I think Houston has the kind of roster where they can be like, look, we have James Harden on a long-term deal, Chris Paul's on a long-term deal. You can compete for a championship here. We were 48 minutes away from going to a championship last year. Adding you would take us over the hump.
I think Houston, LA, and Boston are the only feasible options that he would want to re-sign. I mean, he's eligible for that 5-year, $240 million Supermax extension.
Yeah, and I have something I want to say. That obviously has not worked. The Supermax or the Durant extension doesn't work. It was made after Kevin Durant left to incentivize people to stay. How many people have taken that?
Not many, because they're wanting to.
Kawhi Leonard was eligible for that. He's in Toronto.
Right.
Anthony Davis is going to be eligible for that. He's out. You have Russ, Steph Curry, James Harden, guys that weren't going to leave anyway. If guys want out, they're just going to leave. The money doesn't sway any which way. It's just a great way for teams to eat up their cap with one guy. So that's my little mini rant about why the Supermax extension is bad.
There's a guy you mentioned in there, Kevin Durant.
Uh-huh.
He's going to slither his way back to Oklahoma City for the Nick Collison jersey retirement. Okay, I'm just going to ask you, because you're a Thunder fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a Thunder fan, but I can only imagine that Thunder fans, even on an occasion like this, are not going to give Kevin Durant a warm welcome.
They do not have to give him any kind of welcome, but they better not boo him. They better not make any fuss about this, because this is not about Kevin Durant. This is about Nick Collison, and I'm not going to talk about why they're retiring his number and if I agree with that or not, but Kevin Durant...
Oh, please do.
It's a terrible precedent for an organization to set, to retire a bench player's number. Whatever he meant to the organization is great. He does not deserve his number retired.
What did he really mean to the... Okay, now we've opened a can of worms. I think you're on the same page. Okay, he's played how many years there?
He played... let me look. A lot. Double digit.
He was a lottery pick there.
Yes.
Who cares?
Right.
What meaningful minutes did Nick Collison actually play? In big moments, when did they call on Nick Collison? Outside of the practice arena.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool and all, but to retire his jersey, that should mean something.
14 seasons.
And he had 14 points. I mean, seriously.
5.9 points, 5.2 rebounds, 1 assist, half a block, half a steal. You're putting his number up there.
I mean,
Thunder fans can do it. Like, people love him. He's a great teammate, whatever. He was Mr. Thunder. That doesn't mean you have to retire his number.
Yeah, but retiring a jersey and putting it in the rafters is for
something.
Hall of Famers. Hall of Famers.
Not for some organizations.
Nick Collison.
But anyway, that's about Nick Collison. That's about Kevin Durant going to support his friend. If they introduce him, fine. I don't think they should even acknowledge that he's there. I think he should just be there and get to enjoy the ceremony and watch the game if he wants. But no one should acknowledge. The PA announcer doesn't have to acknowledge that he's there. It's Nick Collison's night. Don't boo him. Don't bring attention to it. Just let him be there and let it be about Nick Collison. Because for better or worse, he is getting his jersey retired. It's his night.
Well, I mean, number 4 is going up in the rafters, but I think it's a little weird that he's going. I get it, but you're in the middle of an NBA season. It's just, it seems I get it special, but it's just a little weird to me that he's going back. It honestly is. And I don't expect a very warm reception, because sports fans, you made an excellent point. They should make it about Kevin Durant, but they're going to make it about Kevin Durant. They absolutely will. So we'll see. It's on March 20th. Kevin Durant's, the Warriors play in Minnesota, and then he's coming to Oklahoma City on March 20th. And then obviously he'll go back out west for a game against the Pelicans, the Pacers. But it's a weird situation for sure. We're going to come back, talk about everything going on in Super Bowl week, the Pro Bowl, and everything in between in the National Football League. You're watching 101. We'll be right back.
1-on-1 is brought to you by Oklahoma Christian University. Get your master's degree in accounting, business administration, theology, engineering, computer science, or cybersecurity from Oklahoma Christian University. Apply at oc.edu/grad. Oklahoma University is committed to offering the best graduate school experience we possibly can. Come learn and grow with us. And The Table. Stop by The Table on Thursdays at 8 p.m. to join their Bible study. Shoot Rachel an email at rachel@thetableosu.com for more information. We'll be right back.
my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
Welcome back to One on One from Studio 318. Well, Patrick Mahomes gets another trophy for his basically rookie season, second year in the league, but first year starting. He is the Pro Bowl offensive MVP along with Jamal Adams, the Jets safety. On the defensive side, the AFC picks up a 26-7 win. Mahomes, 7-14, 156 yards and 1 touchdown. He had a no-look pass that went off Juju Smith-Schuster's face mask because he wasn't ready. But I don't know. The Pro Bowl is bad.
Yeah.
It's like flag
football. Is it the worst all-star type game of any of the major sports?
Baseball's the best. It was because it meant until they when they had to play for the obviously for the World Series, home field advantage, or that's when baseball is the best. But the NFL is different because it's such a physical sport.
Right.
I understand it. I don't understand it in basketball because even if you're screwing around on a basketball court, the way they jump and play, they could get hurt. So I understand it in football, but why even play the game?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
look
guess
at
because
that.
you can't.
Guys aren't even defending.
No.
And shocker, Dak Prescott actually throws a good pass, and Amari Cooper, he goes right off his hands. The Cowboys can't even get it right in the Pro Bowl.
Hey, don't worry. They may have scored 7 points in the Pro Bowl where no one plays any defense, but they're going to fix their offense. They just fired their OC. They fired the problem. They got rid of it.
Well, they need to trade the problem, and the problem is, not to get too much into Dallas Cowboys, it's the head coach and many other problems. But Jalen Ramsey gets an offensive touchdown. I mean, it's just...
It's a joke.
And everyone on the sideline, obviously the Chargers coaching staff was, the coaching staff. And so everyone was wearing a Chargers jacket. That's treason. I hated that. Don't put Patrick Mahomes in that again. Dee Ford lines up off sides. I had flashbacks, the trauma I'd been dealing with for a week.
You think he's just going to line up offsides every time now?
Well, if you're going to line up off sides, at least get a sack. Like, hit Tom Brady if you line up off sides. He doesn't even get any pressure. But anyways, I digress. 26-7 win over the NFC, and I think you said it best. It might be the worst, the All-Star game.
I think it is. The NBA was competing with it for a while, but with the new draft thing, and they tried last year, they might fix it. But
it was cooler when it was in Hawaii because there was actually some mystique to it.
Yeah.
Now it's in Orlando.
And I think the skills competitions and stuff like that are more fun than the game. Like
absolutely.
The dodgeball game was the best part of this weekend.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's a fun weekend, kind of like, I guess that's the way with all All-Star. I mean, you have the home run derby, and then you have
the slam dunk
contest, the 3-point contest, the skills challenge. You have the skills challenge in football, and then you get to the game, and it's kind of like, I mean, no one really cares. I mean, to be honest, I watched a quarter and a half, and as soon as they took Patrick Mahomes out, the TV was off. I mean, I wanted to see what crazy passes he did, and you slowly realize that the other players weren't used to him in practice, so they didn't see the no passes coming. But the AFC does get that win. Mahomes gets another accolade on his trophy. So does Jamal Adams after he may or may not have sent Pat the Patriot to the hospital. But as I said on Twitter, Jamal Adams is an American hero.
That's right.
And he should be treated as such for what he did, a service for the people. He's a civil servant, and I will not say any less.
I mean, I agree. That was probably... How is that the biggest storyline? Or the biggest thing to come out of the Pro Bowl.
Because the Pro Bowl's a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, DeAnthony Thomas did get arrested on marijuana charges, so the Chiefs free agent. There is some other NFL news. But other than that, it's mostly Super Bowl, except for one little thing.
Still the NFC Championship game.
NFC Championship game is still making headlines because, stay with me, Logan, this is the headline. 4 officials in Rams win have SoCal ties. Do you want to take this or should I?
Man, you can go.
First of all, because a ref is from a certain geographic region, has no bearing on the way they're going to make calls. They missed in the drive before plenty of calls on the Saints that would have changed the game. Point number 2, no one in Southern California cares about the Rams. They can't fill up a stadium. People are more intrigued with going to the beach, being in Hollywood. No one cares about the Rams, which makes the fact that they're in the Super Bowl so frustrating because no one cares. No one's going to go to their parade. But, Logan, because 4 officials have SoCal ties, they threw the game?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, I mean, I guess we just have to get refs that don't live in America because they'll have a bias. Or I guess you can't live in a certain part of the country for whatever game. Like if you live in Boston, you can never ref a Patriots game. If you live in Texas, you can't ref for 3 different teams. So obviously we should just bring all of our refs in from like a foreign country. Because, I mean, that's the only way you can solve this, Reed. Obviously, these guys have so much bias towards their team of their region, not even their hometown, their region. You can't, it sucks to see stuff like this in sports. It sucks that there's so much corruption in the NFL like this. Who would have thought that refs living in a certain part of the country was the biggest scandal the NFL would go through in 2019 so
when
far?
You've got refs from Santa Barbara, Mission Viejo, Lakewood in LA, and Newport Beach, I mean, that's a problem, Logan.
It is. Thank goodness they weren't in the Chargers-Patriots game. I mean, what would we have done?
The Chargers have less fans in Southern California than the Rams do, or at least in LA. They've got a contingency in San Diego. But even the Saints, the fan base that is suing the NFL, the Saints, you got Cam Jordan wearing T-shirts. I mean, the Saints are so mad, which they kind of have a right to be.
Yeah.
But even the Saints are like, yeah, that's a little far. That's too much.
It's a bit of a stretch.
On Monday, before the game, almost a full week, they know who their refs are going to be.
Yeah. And they didn't have a problem with it.
And no one made a complaint because, Logan, up until 2 years ago, the Rams played in St. Louis. Who cares? Who cares where these refs are from?
Someone does.
I mean, sure. If you got a guy that lives in New Orleans, you probably don't want him calling the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I don't think that these refs, I mean, they call all 32 teams. They call 16 games plus the playoffs a year. I don't think these refs, because a lot of them have been doing it for 15, 20 years, obviously, if they would have had a bias, you would have seen it before now.
Right. And these were supposedly the best refs. They were the highest graded refs all year.
Well, that grading scale sucks.
I was about to say, they broke the scale because that was the worst non-call in pro football.
And there was multiple non-calls.
Yes.
I mean, they missed a blatant face mask the drive before that on Jared Goff. I mean, they were bad at their job. The NFL refs are bad.
Yeah. We should go back to the lockout and get those backup refs. That was at least funny.
At least we knew why they were bad.
Yeah.
You don't even know why these refs are bad, but they're bad. They're terrible at their job. But it's not because of where they live.
Right.
They're bad at their job for reasons that I don't know. But it needs to be figured out. But, I mean, when I saw this headline, it's like, are you kidding me? Seriously?
What do you think of Roger Goodell making no comment? Are you okay with it? Do you think he'll say something soon?
I mean, people are demanding.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen Darren Rovell on Twitter. People are, what's he going to say? They called in this quote from the article here, the league admitted to the Saints that they, in quote, bleeped up the call.
Yeah.
I mean, so they've talked to the Saints. Roger Goodell called the owner and talked to Sean Payton. They're not going to be okay with it. But what's he supposed to do? Is Roger Goodell say to the people, yeah, okay, we screwed it up, got it wrong. And Saints fans are going to be like, but what else?
But make him play it again.
He's sorry.
You think
Roger Goodell is happy about this? No. Roger Goodell, this is the last thing he wants to
I feel
deal
like
with.
Roger Goodell is not bothered by this at all. I feel like nothing bothers Roger Goodell.
No.
There's no controversy strong enough to make Roger Goodell feel uncomfortable.
And honestly, how is this Roger Goodell's fault? I mean, he is in charge of the league, and the refs got it wrong. But as you said, this was supposed to be their best crew.
Yeah.
And
maybe he could talk about the grading system that they use. I'm sure people of New Orleans would love that explanation, how they're going to change their grading system and how these guys aren't going to ref anymore or whatever. But no, I mean, there's nothing for them to say. Like, this should be over and gone.
I do think the ref that missed that call should be fired.
Yeah.
I do think he should be fired. So we'll see on that. But this headline, I mean, they're really reaching now on this. Really, really reaching. Well, on Friday, I've got a fun thing planned for us. We're going to dedicate probably 2 segments to the prop bets.
I'm excited for that.
On the Super Bowl. I mean, we're not going to be really betting, but we are going to be betting on this show, and we will talk about it the Monday after, in addition to everything that happened in the game. But I am really excited for that Friday segment.
Yeah.
But in addition to the prop bets, Americans are going to bet $6 billion on the Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
$6 billion. That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. And the NFL will see no money, no revenue from that.
I mean, you're seeing more of the NFL kind of adapt to this betting stuff, but $6 billion is a lot of money.
That is a lot. That's more money than I'll ever see, combined with just money I see.
Don't sell
around,
yourself short.
Like
Now, what's funny about this is, this says in the article, betting with bookmakers, both legal and illegal. So this is not all clean money here.
Yeah.
This is some illegal stuff. But I mean, this is a ton of money, and 52% are betting on the Rams, which has changed back. And
Patriots are underdogs?
Well, no. I mean, there's 42% on them. There's 48% on the Patriots. So a lot betting on the Rams. It's not totally divided. We're about to get into that. We're still here selling ourselves short crap that the Patriots are spewing because it is so frustrating. But they both had, their little rallies, I guess you would say. The Rams had the Dodgers visit the facility. I have a problem with that because the Dodgers have made it to the past 2 championships.
But they lost.
And they lost.
Huh.
Why are they there? What championship experience are they going to learn from a baseball
they didn't bring
team?
in, like, Kobe Bryant or something. Kobe Bryant goes and talks to everybody now.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they've talked to everyone, including Bill Belichick to Sean McVay, who reportedly texted throughout the season. I can't imagine Bill Belichick, texting.
He's got that new razor that's coming out, and he's like,
oh, the new razor. Flashback. But, I mean, really, Bill Belichick, of course, you'd think he was a genius with technology. He's scammed. I mean, their headsets don't work.
Well,
They've taped practices. They found every other way to win. So maybe all along he's been
hacking Sean McVay's phone.
He's been hacking his phone,
I like
getting
that
the playbook.
idea.
We're going to come back and talk about this. We're still here stuff from Tom Brady and the 0% chance that he retires. We'll be right back on One-on-One.
One-on-One is brought to you by Oklahoma Air National Guard. Contact Oklahoma Air National Guard at 800-GO-TO-ANG or visit their website at goang.com/OK for more information about how to get 100% college tuition. And Unitarian Universalist Church. If you're looking for a church home, visit Unitarian Universalist Church of Stillwater, located at 320 South Stallard Street. They offer an alternative spiritual path and welcome all races, religions, and beliefs. They're also LGBTQ friendly. Services every Sunday at 10:30. We'll be right back.
Stillwater Medical Center now offers a convenient way to view your health information online. It's secure, easy, and free. Our hospital and clinic patient portals allow you to view results and reports, medications and allergies, track visit histories, view upcoming appointment information, and see your statements. To enroll, go to stillwatermedical.com and click on the patient portal link near the top right of the page. If you have questions, please feel free to call 405-533-6010.
Let's let them hear it all the way down in Atlanta. We're still here. We're still here. We're still here. We're still here. We're still here.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to 101. We're still here. It was no days off from Bill Belichick. There's nothing more uncomfortable than seeing Bill Belichick screaming no days off into a microphone and Tom Brady screaming we're still here. I mean,
no days off.
It's over. Like, stop. We get it.
I wonder how loud is Bill Belichick screaming? Is it just like, we're still here, no days off?
Pretty much.
I feel like it's not that loud. No days off.
So, I mean, they were the underdogs against the Chiefs. Now it's we're still here.
Underdogs.
And the best ones create the mindset. They give an edge to themselves. I'm not ever going to take anything away from the Patriots because I love watching the Patriots. I love watching dynasties. Mm-hmm. You have to respect it.
Yeah.
But it gets old. It's getting old. It got old a long time ago. The Warriors are getting old. The Yankees got old in the 90s.
I think Jason Clicchio would disagree with you with that last one.
Well, I mean, he's probably never going to see that dynasty again the way the Yankees are trending. I mean, Boston's owned this last 2 decades in football and baseball and basketball, really.
I can't really see him in the booth.
I mean, think about Boston. What has New York done?
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, this is not this is not going in on Clicchio, but you have to appreciate what Boston's been able to do. The Patriots, the Celtics have won a championship. The Red Sox have won multiple championships. Yeah. I mean, the Bruins have won a Stanley Cup in this time. I mean, in the audio booth, we got 2 sports cities, D.C. and New York, and Boston has dominated both of them. But they have dominated the country.
Yeah.
I mean, the Patriots have owned the NFL. The Celtics, obviously, when they had the big 3, not as much success as they wanted. But now under Brad Stevens, they found success in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're on their way up, you would think. I mean, the Red Sox are coming off a World Series victory, and the Bruins haven't done anything in a while, but they've had a Stanley Cup not that long ago. So, City of Boston we're still here. But does it ever stop with this guy? Does it ever stop? I mean, his quote before the Chiefs game that he was the baddest bleep on the earth. I mean, and then he proves it. He goes out and wins it. He proves it. But the we're still here, the we're underdogs, the Julian Edelman selling the bet against the shirts.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when does it stop, Logan?
Not until he's 45. That's what he says.
Well, he said in an interview this weekend, there is 0% chance he retires. Do you believe that?
I believe he thinks that. I don't believe that's true. I think he said in that interview this year was hard. It's only going to get harder. Still got 4 years. We've never seen anyone play the way he has at his age. I just don't think Father Time will allow that. I think Tom Brady will be out of the league in a couple of years. Not saying he's going to fall off a cliff tomorrow or anything like that, but I just don't think that's possible with the way he played the regular season. He looked like he was done. He was close to done. They did not have a spectacular regular season. He did not look like Tom Brady in the regular season. He's obviously turned it on in the playoffs, but I don't know. I don't think it's a 0% chance. I think it depends on how he's feeling after the Super Bowl. Obviously, if they win, I think he'll come back. But if he just has a terrible game, gets beat up in it or something like that, I think he has to consider it.
I think unless barring injury, which you don't ever want to see happen, I believe him. I don't think there's any chance he retires after this, win or lose. I think that Tom Brady is going to be a miserable post-career player because he is addicted to being, the best quarterback he can be, and there's a reason he has 5 Super Bowl rings, and the organization's part of it. I mean, he dinks and dunks his way to Super Bowls, but you have to respect it. So how can the Patriots? There's 0 chance you think there's a little bit of chance he retires.
I'm saying if he gets, like you kind of say, if he gets hurt, I think he has to reevaluate it, but obviously I hope that doesn't happen. But I think if he comes out of this like perfectly healthy, he's back next year.
So 0% chance he retires, I guess, barring injury. For him to get this ring and come back on a positive note, how do they stop the Rams? Because I think that stopping the Patriots, as crazy as it sounds, is a little bit easier than stopping Sean McVay in that offense.
I think the best way they stop him is by staying on the field. I think you have to take Aaron Donald out of the football game. You have to limit his productivity. And then even still, you have Sue on the other side to worry about. So, like you said, he dink and dunks his way to Super Bowls. I think that's the way to victory in this one. Just keep Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, Brandon Cooks, those guys off the field.
I think that, and this is kind of my answer, kind of, sort of, the Rams are at a huge disadvantage in this because they have Aqib Talib.
Right.
But look at the personalities on that team.
Not a lot of playoff experience.
No, and they went to New Orleans and won in a tough environment. But Sean McVay is young.
Right.
He hasn't been there. Now, the Patriots have been there 9 times. They've won 5. Tom Brady can handle this environment. The Patriots can handle this environment. Jared Goff, Marcus Peters, I mean, Aqib Talib's been there, 1-1 with the Broncos, but even he's immature at times. Todd Gurley, you worry about his maturity during the week.
And his health.
Yeah. How are the Rams going to handle this week compared to how the Patriots are going to do it? Because the Patriots are going to be in on curfew.
Right.
They're going to be game planning. They're going to handle the media and everything the right way. The Rams, they may, I'm not saying they won't, but you have to worry about that as to where the Patriots, you're not worried about it at all.
Oh, yeah. No, I think we'll see. I think we'll see it throughout the week in the press conferences, and we'll be talking about those throughout the week. Cherry's going to play such a big part in this. Jared Goff kind of figured it out in New Orleans. Got off to a terrible start in the Superdome, but this isn't in Foxborough. This is on a neutral site. I still think it'll be really loud and it'll be disruptive, but I don't think it'll be what it was last week for those guys. So I just feel like I would feel so much better if I was Bill Belichick and Tom Brady if I dominated time of possession. Those guys can score quick. It's just a couple plays and they're in the end zone maybe. So you got to keep them off the field, and you have to keep Aaron Donald out of the game.
Yeah, you're going to have to obviously give Brady a ton of time with Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh. You can't let that become a factor. If they can hold the pressure up front, which they did pretty well throughout the playoffs, but if they can double, not Robert Woods, they're going to put Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks. If they can double Brandon Cooks like they did Tyreek Hill, and Brandon Cooks probably isn't as quick, but he's still an explosive player.
Right.
If they can double him and take him out of the game and slow things down, disrupt Los Angeles.
I think they're totally going to be able to do that.
Right. And if they can do that, the Patriots will win this football game.
That's Bill Belichick's greatest strength, is being able to take away the best weapon. I mean, on offense and defense, like you said, Tyreek Hill got taken out of the game last week. Throughout just the career of these guys, they've been able to take away. J.J. Watt has been basically ineffective against the Patriots. Joey Bosa has not been able to make a big impact. Like Tyreek Hill, like you said, they just take away
your best player.
They do it against the Steelers every year. They dominate those guys, and they have one of the most talented rosters in football. They just know how to take away whatever you do best. They make sure you don't do that, and that sounds really simple, right? Let's just stop them from doing what they like to do the most and what they're the best at. The Patriots are the only team that does it consistently.
Absolutely. In that Kansas City game, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. And, you saw the Chargers didn't do anything good against the Patriots. So how much stock do you put in the Madden prediction? Because
I love that, but I don't think it holds any weight.
Well, I'm going to tell you what they said.
Okay.
They're taking the Rams to beat New England 30-27. Aaron Donald winning the MVP after sacking Tom Brady 4 times and hitting him 7 times. It's a 20-20 tie going into the fourth quarter. And then James White gets a touchdown pass to make it 27-23. And then Todd Gurley scores on a 5-yard touchdown to make it 30-27. And that is the final score. And they lead 17-3 to the Patriots in the first half, and then the Rams come roaring back. Now, don't put too much stock into it, because last year they said the Patriots would beat Philadelphia 24-20, and obviously the Eagles won 41-33. Simulation's kind of been off and on. They missed on Super Bowl 50. They said the Panthers would beat the Broncos. So it's a little off and on. Don't put too much stock into it. But that's what EA is saying.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots play way better in real life than they do in Madden. Their defensive personnel is not that good in Madden. Their receivers are not that good in Madden. Their running backs aren't that good. Tom Brady is it. And I think they actually make Gronk a little too good in Madden. But besides the point, I just don't trust the way that – I don't trust the way they rate the players and the way their game plays, because it's totally different.
Right.
On that game, the Steelers go undefeated if you run them through a simulation. You know what I mean?
Well, we have a full week to talk about this NFL stuff. Thank you for watching. We'll be back Wednesday on 101 OSU Student Radio KXUI Sunlink Channel 112.
Determining your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
CAS prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.